Adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming. It's a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives.
My name is Trevor, and I have a 5-year-old and a newly minted 8-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an old 12-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Slightly used.
Slightly used.
Not quite pristine, but
No.
still get you good values in the stores.
Yeah.
Today was the day. We are recording. My older son turned 8 today. Had a great day. We have fully transitioned into the Pokemon phase of his development. The entirety of his birthday gifts were Pokemon, and that's all he wanted to do. His grandparents very generously gifted him some money.
Right.
And I will bet you double the amount that he got, that he will spend that on Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it's a given. And I always think of like Nintendo hanging out, or whoever just, you're going to swear off Pokemon, and you've said this for years, but like, meanwhile, they're like, yeah, okay, we're going to get you. Like, it's just a matter of time.
They always come back. So so happy for that. So, for the next couple of months, it'll be the 3-year gap between my two sons, but almost a decade with this little human.
Yeah.
That hits kind of hard, man.
It does, doesn't it? It's just time. Again, the cliche of it flies and it's a blur.
Yeah, but it is so amazing right now. I'll say this, it's one of those common things we often say to dads who write into us talking for advice, anything else. It's like it gets better. Every phase has its cool moments, but like you'll just find it keeps getting better and better. And that actually kind of leads into a story that was submitted to us. Been receiving some notes here and there from the listeners. Thank you so much for that. If you have a story, if you have a link to a story, like this is today, that you think would be good for the show, anything you want to share, or if you have a YouTube channel, any of the above, we'd love to give a shout out to any dads or read some content. newdadgaming.com or on our Twitter @newdadgaming. So this story we got sent, it's a bit of a downer, if we're honest, but it's really great to talk to about, especially like for us new dads. And I think it kind of makes way for a wider range of emotions than I think new dads might think they're allowed to have. So specifically, the poster goes on to say, I hate it. So
that's fair enough.
So I hear you, man. I hear you, but we'll get into this here. I hate it. I hate the work of parenting. I'm tired of getting screamed at, spit on, hit, and kicked. I hate trying to get babies to go to sleep. I hate how illogical toddlers are. I hate that I have no happiness in my life anymore. My marriage is ruined. I have no friends, no hobbies anymore. Every day begins at 6 with my toddler yelling and moaning. It takes hours to put them to bed. Our baby isn't sleep trained. The toddler acts like a bleep frequently. I hate the depression lull I've been in for more than 3 years. I hate the boredom, the stress, making sure no one gets hurt. I hate not having help. I hate waking up every 2 hours to put the baby back to bed. I hate my life. I hate how hopeless I feel. I hate when people say it gets easier. Now I'll say when I was first reading this after sent to us, again, like when I started at the top, like that's one of the biggest things we say is like every phase is different and it just keeps getting better. So to hear him say that line was kind of a bit of a dagger for me. Like, oh no, that's my one
right at you. Yeah,
that's my one line. I have no arrows left. Legolas, help! Just like, so I hate when people say it gets easier. I hate parenting articles, Instagram moms that make my wife feel like she's a lackluster parent. I hate $32,000 a month daycare. I hate never having no time for chores, get a haircut, take a shower, feed myself, sleep, get new clothes. My life is not and will never be my own again. I miss the love I used to be present in my marriage. I see no way out. Every day's harder. Every day is the same. So, wow, like that is hard.
Pack there.
That's and very clear. I'm reading from a post. That is not my own personal opinion. Just in case I have friends or family listening to the episode. Yeah. So that one hurts, and it's just I think the real thing that I saw the community come around. There's a lot of support for this individual after he made this post, and I'm kind of glad in some ways he just had this venting session, because a lot of the community came around to support, and it's like, yeah, it's awful. Like, you're allowed to feel like this right now. Like, in case you're feeling inadequate because you think you have to be happy right now in this moment, and that this is great and something's wrong with you. Like, no, this sucks. Like, it really, where you are right now really sucks and is really hard, especially in a modern world. I think you'd agree with that, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's just, again, we talk about the phases, right? And how things, see, listening to that post, you reading it again, what struck me is that, like, it feels like the person wants their old life back, right? Where you don't have that anymore. So it's kind of, it's in you to adapt. Like, you have to adapt. And I think that's what we say when it gets easier is you have to adapt your parenting to the phase that you're in. And I think that you're just slowly being given more tools as the kids grow up.
Yeah. And I think, I like with that too, the way you said that. And I think a big part too is like there's mourning. Like, you're mourning the death of the way life used to be. Like, it was you and your partner, and you were kind of young and having fun. You could do what you like. You smoked cigarettes in the house. You drove like a motorcycle. You drank and like you stayed up all night. Like, that was a wonderful life. And intense, tired, awful moments. Like, there's this mourning, I think, that happens of like, why can't I be happy like that? Like, it was so great, and now I got this, and I can't leave. And yeah, man, it sucks. Mourn it. Feel bad for that.
Yeah, and I think if you go from 0 to 60, like you had nothing before in terms of that kind of responsibility. I regularly say that like my dog had trained me for the baby step into parenting, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have to wake up early. You can't just leave willy-nilly. Like, you have to plan ahead. You can't be away multiple days without finding care for your pet. Like, all those things, very small scale from a human baby, but like it helped, I think, kind of dip the toes in the water a little bit. So if that's like a shock to your system, then I can totally understand, like, what do I do with myself anymore? Like, I want my old life back, but
Who am I?
Yeah.
So that what I like too. So some of the comments, like I said, it was kind of nice to see where this was posted. There was kind of a community rally around it. One of the responses I liked: "I was there too, brother. Especially when the second child was born. My oldest turns 10 today, and believe it or not, I often pine for the days when I could be his toddler hero again. What helped me, especially when he was lashing out as a toddler, was to force myself into the present moment and play with him. Find joy in the game, shadow puppets, building blocks. Allow yourself to be a kid again and forget about being an adult. This is how kids understand love, and it seems to help him calm down. I hope it helps, and if not, know that we're here to listen." And the second one that goes to is, let's see. He had a really good sentence here. I'm just trying to find it. Trying to put the kid down, just would not have it, and I just wanted to go off and read and do what I normally did. The anger started to grow. But after 5 years of fatherhood, it showed me how to catch myself and force myself into check. While processing my anger and moving through the emotion without letting it take control of me, a little lightning bolt struck me, and I realized that I love being a father, but I hate newborns. I just love the line because it's such honesty. I love being a father, but I hate newborns. It felt like such a relief to have it in honest words. It also felt like one of those things you're not supposed to admit, but man, there's power in looking the real problem in the eye. I wanted to say that to new dads who hate it and are disappointed in themselves, and I think that's really one of the key points. Say this to the dads who hate it and are disappointed in themselves for hating it, that you're okay. Maybe it's not being a dad you hate. Maybe it's not your kid. Maybe you just hate this stage, and that's totally fine. This stage will end, and personality will show up. You'll be able to make your kid laugh and build fun memories. Your love will develop, and you'll be so grateful you pushed through the horror and into the light. You got this, dude. So that's like, I love being a father.
Yeah.
I hate infants, or I hate messy toddlers, or I hate disobedient kids, or XYZ. But if you center back on that main part, I love being a father. That seemed like a really healthy kind of way to phrase it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, part of that moving through the emotions too. And I think that's what you have to do is process, that anger and frustration and not bottle it. And so if that means speaking your mind out to the internet abyss or seeking help through therapy or through your partner, I think communication is very key. Otherwise, you do feel isolated and it's hopeless, and then you just spiral, right?
Yep.
So, absolutely.
Well said. Hey, dads for dads. And hey, if you ever want to vent a little bit or speak with us, reach out again, newdadgaming.com or at newdadgaming. Thank you so much for the listener who sent in this story. It was really great to read. I think it touched on something very important for us dads to speak about. Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of frustration and danger, we'll get into a recent call from Jeff's child for borrowing his save file for just a moment.
Yeah, this is one where, let me just set the scenario for you, Trevor. I have been in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for a good 35 to 40 hours since launch. And in dad time, that is a long time. Like, that is like eons in our gaming time. So my 12-year-old comes along and says, hey, Dad, I saw this awesome YouTube video about let's find the best weapon in the game. And, just give me the controller and, like, let's play your save file and I'll go get the weapon for you. I'm like, no, you will not. We are not doing this. That was one of those conversations where, like, I'm weighing in my head, like, it would be fine if this was, like, I don't know, Mario and you had, kind of infinite amount of lives sitting here. But in Zelda, in this particular game, there are items that you do have to collect and materials you do have to collect that don't remain. Like, everything will be spent and then you're, like, stuck midway through this game without any materials, and I'm not going to farm them. So it was on the tough decision to say, you start your own save file and do what you want. By all means. And they try to convince me by saying, Dad, come look at the video and I'll show you what to do, whatever. First of all, watching the videos with the commentary, I can't handle the whole, like, roller coaster of tone and, like, get you excited and, like, this bro kind of, I can't do it. And it just immediately threw me off from anything that it was showing me in that video. I couldn't do it.
I'll say, like, a little bit behind the studio. So when we're recording this live or for the video version you can find on YouTube, we'll play some clips as well. So various people, like, playing the various games that we're talking about. The secret game dad tip is to always include at the end of it. So it's like Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, ... no commentary.
No commentary.
Because then you just get this pleasant video of somebody just playing the game without any of the screamy, squelching YouTube fodder, which is so great. But I digress.
Yeah, so anyway, the video happened. They wanted to play my save file. We said no. Like, that, no. And then they get frustrated that they have to go through the tutorial area, which is like a good couple hours to give you all the tools in order to open up the open world, and then you can go find this whatever weapon that he was talking about. But, like, it's one of those things where I had to weigh it in my head, like, I want my kids to have fun, but also Dad worked really hard to get here. And you have infinite amount of time that you could be, this could be reversed. Like, Dad wants to go in on your 40-hour save file. Like, let Dad just have fun in this world and not have to, farm materials. That'd be great. Help Dad out. Like, it's my turn.
It would almost be better. It's like, all right, you can do it, but you're gonna have to farm for me 6 of these things, 12 of those things, and when I can go to my account and see it, then you can borrow my save file for 10 minutes.
That's a good compromise. Get Zelda, get Link some 10 hearts, and then we'll talk. Fill those stamina wheels, and then come back and you can get your sword.
It's the art of saying no. I think it's the right call. It's You're working on the game, and as much as we adore playing with our kids, it's the thought that you're going to lose all your progress and all that. Like, you could play it yourself, child. You have so much time.
Yeah.
Just like, you don't need to. Don't ruin my game. Don't ruin every weapon I have trying to follow a screaming YouTuber with his, like, hot tips of the week.
Breakable weapons. That's another thing I had to consider. Yes. So yeah.
Yes, sir. So forgive me, gaming fathers, for I've sinned.
Uh-oh.
I pre-ordered Diablo.
What? This is a surprise. Okay, hold on. You said you were holding back, and I didn't expect this.
I know. It's a
Pre-ordered, eh? Did the demo do you in? Like that was it? Like that
It was
felt good?
It was very good. It wasn't that I was playing and thinking that this is my new favorite game, a la, No Man's Sky, where I was incredibly hyped and I loved it. Really solid. It's like, this looks like it's going to be fantastic. This is going to be really great. Okay. I did dip back into Diablo 3, reminded myself like, oh, I really did enjoy this game. The thing that really did it for me was peer pressure from some buddies of mine. So,
okay, I see how it is. All right.
Which it would seem like there's kind of an ironic dad teaching moment here about peer pressure, but hear me out. Let's walk through this.
Okay.
So much akin to Tears of the Kingdom with yourself around dad gaming time. There's not a lot of it, right?
Right.
And even more rare for myself is the resource of buddies that I can play video games with.
Yep. Yeah.
Like
true.
Everybody's moved on, everybody's got families, everybody's got responsibilities. It's hard to find anybody to play a game with. So the one group of friends I have who are really into gaming and they just adore Diablo, they are just over the moon with excitement about this particular title. And they have a few like gaming nights ready to go. They got some like plans of what they're going to go. Like, okay, we're going to for a couple Saturdays in a row, we're all going to get together and play it. Hey, if you get this game, like, why don't you get it? And then you can come play with us too. My usual dad pushback. I'm going to be very underleveled. I don't have time to be at level 1000 with the Eldritch rune that is a 0.1% chance of showing up. It's like, no. The way it works, like we always have like a way to bring along lesser players. We'll give you a bunch of gear. Don't you worry about it. As long as you show up, we'll have fun. And it's just starry-eyed, a man of infinite hope was. I'm sitting there like, if there's any way I can make this happen, if I can, get into this game, which legitimately looks fantastic. Like I had a lot of fun with the trial, and I could legitimately actually play with good friends of mine. It just seemed worth the risk. Like. So go ahead, tell me off, Jeff.
Okay, no, you got peer pressure. You know what that reminds me of? When I was younger, back when I was a small little boy. I remember
when you could drink pots of coffee and go to bed anytime you liked.
Yeah, that's right. I remember going to my friend's house and they were having a water gun fight, and it was like, oh, you can come play this awesome water gun fight if you have a water gun, and you can join our party. And I did not have a water gun, and I had to go home and ask my parents for a water gun so I could join the fun.
Sure.
And sure enough, next day, Toys R Us got a water gun, went over to my friends, and we had a blast. And I'm like, this is great. So basically, this is your water gun story. Like, your friends are like presenting you like, hey, if you have Diablo 4, you can come play with us, and we can have an awesome time. I think sure enough.
I think the way I kind of rationalize it too, there's no rationalization. It is what it is. I'll be happy with it.
It is what it is. Hold on, what tier did you get? Did you get like the base level, or did you go up in tier? Like
I went up in tier. So
you did, didn't you? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, when are you playing? Like
That's how bad it is.
Okay, all right.
That's why it's especially bad. But the way I thought about it was with this particular group. Like these are very dear friends of mine. Like really close. I've been there for like a long time. And the thought was if they said to me, hey, we got this like awesome restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, let's all go out and like maybe we'll go for like drinks after or something like that. Like, I would put together a night and spend time and spend the money with them, right?
Yeah.
And on a night or two like that, you could get up into a pretty expensive going, right? Or if they said to come to a concert, like, so the way I was thinking was like, for this particular group, if it was just me sitting at home, tell you what, I could just wait for it to like drop down for the first sale, not a big deal. Yeah. But it's like to potentially have even if I have like, let's say I have like 3 or 4 really good gaming nights with these guys, it kind of immediately becomes worth it. Because imagine going out with like good friends for like a good meal like 3 or 4 times. Like how much would you pay for that?
Right. So this is great justification. I understand the logic completely,
yeah.
And that your like inner circle. Well, that's worth the next tier in this game.
Yeah, I know. That's that. I'm not gonna. I'll be honest.
Did you feel good? Did you feel good about it, Trevor? When
no, of course not. As I was writing down it, I was going to lie to you about what tier I got. That's how dumb I feel.
Wow. All right.
It's like I don't feel good telling Jeff that I got the better tier.
The better tier, yeah.
I feel exposed to you and the audience. No, this show's about dads being honest with each other.
That's right.
Gosh darn
that's
it.
right. Admitting your sins, for you have now repented.
Oh, so that's where it is. So I will get the early access to it. Hoping to put some time into it, and really, I want to make a true run at it. It's like, all right, let's get into this. Let's really enjoy it. Try to make sure I set some time aside specifically so I can play with my buddies to make sure that this was not in vain. I don't suffer this embarrassment
Right.
and irony in vain, and it ends up being worthwhile. So I will keep posted. Hey, any gaming dads out there want to play some Diablo 4? Reach out to me. Let's see if we can get that set up. And that's at our Twitter at New Dad Gaming, or our website newdadgaming.com. Now that is a very well worn and well polished AAA RPG title, but why not consider growing your own RPG title? And that is what your kids apparently have started to put together, which is amazing.
Yeah, no tiered systems here. We
And we're actually get early access to our homebrew RPG. Don't knock it till you try it.
That's right. Yeah, so out of all the gaming systems that we have in this household and the gaming PCs and all this stuff, my 12-year-old has decided that they are going to, like, bursting with creativity, they're going to create their own RPG.
Mm-hmm.
But using Google Draw and Google Slides and a bunch of other tools to put together almost like a PowerPoint of a story. Very Dungeons and Dragons style, right? So they're like the storyteller, and they've created characters, heroes, stats, weapons, all this stuff, right? So this thing kind of came out of nowhere. I was walking by their door, their bedroom door, and was hearing them laughing, peeked in. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what game are you playing? Because I hear them chatting to their friends.
Yeah.
And he explained it all, and it was something like 6 of his closest friends joined this game that he had created. He's going through the whole story of it, having a blast. I hear their friends like popping out how like awesome this thing is. He's created this whole system where like there's a whole plot line. Like the creativity is amazing. Like what?
That's so
like
cool.
when you use the full brain power of like what? Like I'll ask them like, hey, clean your room, and it's like half effort. This thing is like. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, whoa, you unlocked everything. Like, this is the next level. Like,
yes, I got a plot hole for you to close. How about you clean your damn room? Just like...
Yeah, but no, they had like character sheets, ability sheets. They had weapons that had stat effects and all of this stuff. They had RNG spin wheels on Google Chrome extensions that would determine the roll of the dice, like a virtual dice that would compete against each other. What like attack power was, defense power, what the monster would do, and then like they had an overall map. Like there was a map that the characters could go through, and then they had built in a co-op system and what the rules were around that. Like,
how did you cultivate this exactly? Have you guys played like D&D in your house? Like, does he follow some YouTubers that have a similar system? Like, it's pretty wild to go from I play video games to I've crafted my own homebrew tabletop like game in PowerPoint. Like, did you see any signs that like in between?
I saw notes. I always bug him to say like, you could do a lot of this, because he was very into like scratch coding and stuff for years, and then just kind of dropped it, and then was into Roblox heavily. I'm like, you can create things in Roblox, right? Actually do stuff. And it was just kind of ignored. And we've played a bunch of board games like Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, and it's very much that kind of style, but nothing recently. Like this game came out of nowhere. I'm like flabbergasted. I'm like, where are you hiding all this? And this is the stuff that I want to support and get you going on. And if Google Slides and Draw like are easy enough tools for you just to have fun and change it up and be like, flexible with what your friends are doing, that's great. That's awesome. Like nothing has to be like pitch perfect. You don't have to sell the thing. If you do, offer those tiers and get your friends to
get the early access tier.
Yeah,
we'll do a Kickstarter. I think that there's something almost better with the constraints / freedom of a non-game system. Because one thing we had mentioned, like there's so many great systems out there now for building games. Like there's stuff on the iPad. There is Roblox. There is Game Maker Studio. I think is on the Switch. Yep. So XY, like choose your poison. There's any number of ways for a child to make their own games, but in some ways too, you're sort of steamrolled in a direction, or it's not so much about let me draw out my creativity. It's okay, I got to first learn the tool and then allow my creativity to flow through the tool.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
there's something almost more freeing in, now forget all that. I'm just going to like write a bunch of stuff down and then start to like chart a path how different people can play.
Yeah. Again, like you were saying, it's just very freeing because those other things, they give you the tools, they give you the sandbox, but it's their created sandbox, right? And again, with just what Google kind of gave you, and again, they use different tools and extensions in their browser as well, along with Discord, all working together simultaneously, which to me is great, like in terms of just finding what you need and kind of merging it all together, and then having 6 of your closest friends and your sibling join in and have this mechanic work where before, when they would create games with me and they make up their own rules, it was always like overpowered things. They would always say, oh, my character has like 1,000 hit points, you can't defeat it, like whatever. And I've always said, you know, you need the fun factor, otherwise I don't want to play, like I know that you'll beat me. And he's balanced all that in here to where his friends have a blast playing it. So it's just, I don't know, man, it came out of nowhere. I want to support it. I had him go over it before we recorded tonight, just to like, how does this all work? Show me how it's kind of going. And he was sitting there 10 minutes just rhyming off everything. I'm like, okay, hold on, I just need your overview. Let's play it tomorrow. You have bedtime, you have school tomorrow, but let's play it tomorrow because I do want to sit down and see how this works. It's awesome.
Oh man, you've got to keep us up to date. I want to hear more. I want to hear your playthrough, your review of your child's homebrew RPG, because that is just stunning. It is a fantastic extension of gaming and gaming inside the household that I think hits so many awesome notes for creativity, constructivity, like community, like bringing people together. Man, A+s across the board. That's so awesome.
Yeah, I even said, like, this is the stuff we want you to do kind of in school, like apply your projects to something of this nature where you can kind of expand it, make your own. Like, it's amazing. So yeah, I'll let everybody know what the review is, see if it's 5 out of 5 or what. I'll be harsh knowing that our record here is, you know, we're going to weigh Zelda, we're going to weigh Diablo 4. Does it stack up? Find out next week.
IGN, 10 out of 10.
That's
wow.
Right. Yeah.
We did it. Oh. And on that high note, everybody, we'll wrap it up there for the week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you like the show, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks. You can find us on Google, Spotify, iTunes, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. If you do find us something that really helps out the show, and Jeff and I continue to thank everybody for their support, if you can go to any of those platforms and subscribe, and even better, leave a review or a comment. Really helps boost the signal, blast it out to as many gaming dads as possible, and hopefully someone out there will pick up Jeff's IP for a homegrown RPG and really launch into the stratosphere. Hey, now, do you have a story to share? Did you come across a really interesting dad tidbit on the internet? Do you yourself have a story that we might want to read on the air and support other gaming dads? Either funny, supportive, sad, whatever you're feeling. We'd love to hear about it. Reach out to us. You can find us on Twitter, as we've mentioned, at New Dad Gaming, or our website, newdadgaming.com. Well, as I said, this is hearing from fellow gaming dads each week just is one of the greatest parts about doing this podcast. So please do reach out. Once again, at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. Everybody, thank you once again for listening. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old.
And just remember, just because you became a dad
does not mean a pre-order.
Damn! Come on! Throw me under the bus like that. Say the line.
Does not mean it's game over. Does not mean it's game over.
It better not be. I paid for it. So see you next week.
See you later.